All right, let's go back to our breaking news that led off the story, and it's involving a quarterback who's been in the league for a long time. Russell Wilson to be released by the Denver Broncos when the league year starts on March 13th. Anita, I'll get to you in a second, but Joe, what do you make of this move?
So, not a surprise. We all saw this coming, but I think what you need to do is start connecting some dots if you want to look at some potential payouts. Don't look at the Chicago Bears at 1. Look at the Washington Commanders at 2. What did we find out today? Oh, the report's out there. The Commanders are A, open to trading the number 2 pick because 2, or B, not sure where I started that there, they're interested in Kirk Cousins. So what happens if they sign Kirk Cousins? Well, the number 2 pick becomes up for sale. Who's going to go up to 2 to get someone like Jaden Daniels or Drake May? Well, the Raiders are 10-1 to go up there and get Jaden Daniels or to draft him. And when you think about that, it's intriguing because Antonio Pierce, the new head coach of the Raiders, he went ahead and recruited Jaden Daniels to Arizona State. Now, the Denver Broncos are in a similar situation. They're 1 spot ahead of the Las Vegas Raiders when it comes to the draft, and they're 18-1 to go up and get Jaden Daniels. You're telling me Sean Payton's going to be comfortable sitting there, letting the Raiders possibly jump over him to go get a quarterback? Just throwing it out there. Those 2 teams, Denver 18-1, Raiders 10-1, to draft Jaden Daniels. Doesn't matter the position, but that's where it is for those landing spots. I think those are worth plays.
And being in the AFC West, those 2 teams need quarterbacks to compete with Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes for the next decade plus. All right, Anita, this move, this domino, could this intensify what is already expected to be an active market with the quarterbacks?
Yeah, absolutely. What I'm going to be looking for is the over-under in regard to how many quarterbacks go in the first round. Because there are a plethora of teams now that we know need quarterbacks. Now, let's add Denver to that mix, right? We've been talking about it. Chicago, Washington. There's some speculation that the Giants are going to want a quarterback in the first round. Now, Denver sitting there at 12. We know Caleb, Jaden, Drake May are going to go. J.J. McCarthy's getting a lot of buzz. There's people who don't believe that he's going to fall beneath 10. Bo Nix and Penix Jr. put on a show, a clinic at the Combine. There's a chance that we can get 6 quarterbacks at least to go in the first round. And keep in mind, guys, teams that do draft a quarterback in the first round, they get that extra year on their rookie deal. So there's a big incentive there as well. So I'm looking towards the over. I'm really curious what that number is going to be. If it's 5.5, I'm going to take the over.
All right. We, of course, have plenty more draft to discuss over the next 7 weeks before we get to that event and more NFL later in the show. Some more NFL news back here on a Monday edition of ESPN Bet Live. Eagles center Jason Kelce retired earlier today. He was a 6th-round draft pick in 2011 out of Cincinnati, won Super Bowl 52 with the Eagles, and was a 7-time Pro Bowler. Down in Tampa, Mike Evans has re-upped with the Bucs. The wide receiver getting $35 million guaranteed on a 2-year deal. The 30-year-old has posted 1,000-plus receiving yards in 10 straight seasons, an NFL record to start a career. That Tampa Bay team, second favorites to repeat as NFC South champions at ESPN Bet, behind the Falcons and new head coach Raheem Morris. Last year, they were 10-1 long shots for Tampa to win their 3rd straight division title. They did so. Atlanta, as mentioned, the plus 150 favorite to win their 1st division title since 2016. Back with Joe Fortenbaugh here on the desk, the NFC South. Not great last season. Seems like it hasn't been great for a couple of years, but it did provide some drama in the futures market right up until the final whistle blew in Week 18. So, Joe, what are you looking at in this division here in March?
Well, I'd look at Atlanta, and the first thought should be, why would the Falcons be priced at plus 150 with Desmond Ridder as their quarterback? It's because the books know the quarterback situation is going to improve, whether it's free agency or the draft. They've baked that into the number. The question becomes this: have they baked it in enough, or is there still room for it to grow in terms of drop? I think there is. They seem to be very interested in Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins would be a massive upgrade for them playing indoors in that division. I think that would take it from plus 150 to maybe a price of plus 130, plus 135. So that's what I would do. I would play Atlanta now. Much better defense than people realize. Raheem Morris is going to be a hell of a head coach. Plenty of weapons already set for a guy like Cousins to come in. Now, if they don't go with Cousins and they go with a rookie, we're probably not going to see this move at all from the plus 150. In fact, it might go the other way. So a bit of a gamble here, but I'm willing to bet they make a strong play for Cousins.
I'm with you and thinking they're probably going to go the veteran route. Justin Fields has also been mentioned in the same vein, but Kirk Cousins is someone you don't have to trade for. You can pretty much just go out and get him, although it will cost you a lot of money. This division, when you look at Tampa Bay, nice to have Mike Evans back, but was Baker Mayfield's 2023 the start of a second act in his career or kind of a one-off? Remains to be seen. I know there's a new head coach in Carolina, but boy, a lot of work to do to get that Panthers outfit on track, and the Saints. Who knows what the Saints
They're doing what they always do. They're restructuring everyone's deal and
kicking the can down the road. I do think Raheem Morris, his second go-around as an NFL head coach, going to have a lot of success. And there's so much talent on both sides of the ball there in Atlanta. I do like them, even at plus 150 and a question mark at QB as the favorites in that division. I want to go to the AFC South, the other side of the conference ledger. The Colts intrigue me. They're not the favorite. It's like plus 320 or something like that. Let me see, plus 325. We saw what Anthony Richardson did in just very limited sample size. 4 games. But boy, did he looked like he was going to be the rookie of the year, not C.J. Stroud the first 4 weeks of the NFL season. Now, he's got to stay healthy, but if he does, big if, for a guy who plays the way he does, if he does for 15, 16, 17 games, I think there's some value on the Colts based on what he showed last year, again, in a small sample size. Agree or disagree?
6 and 3 in one-score games last year, which could point to a little regression. The head coach is outstanding. Shane Steichen did a remarkable job. Richardson's still a bit of a wild card. What's he look like over the course of 17 games? And if he does get hurt again, how does the backup step in and handle the situation? This factors in the equation of Houston being legit and Jacksonville probably being good next year as well. But plus 325, they did a lot last year given
9 and 8 with Gardner Minshew as the quarterback for most of that.
They were very good.
You know Shane Steichen. I agree with you. I think he's a very, very good head coach, especially designing offensive scheme. All right.